Yeah, y'all. I'm in this thing, man. It's hot as fish grease here in the D-Town, boy, but I'm going to make it do what it does and does something wonderful. Welcome to the Online Happy Hour with your main man, Andy Brown, your life coach, your author, your friend, your confidant, your boy, your fam, man, and the cool one. Man, I had a breakdown today, but everything going to work itself out all right. I'm proud of it. I'm excited about it. Shout out to all my folks who are out there putting sugar on their grits. I don't know what we're doing, but it tastes good. It feels good. Do what you feel and make it happen, man. If you listened to last week's broadcast, you had a wonderful, wonderful experience with us. We had a great discussion topic. If this is the first time that you are listening to the Online Happy Hour, welcome. If you haven't been back in a long time, man, shame on you. This is where it gets down. It gets real. It gets discussed. It gets talked about. It gets liked, it gets loved, and it gets shared. So please do the following according to the gospel of your favorite. So hit the like button, man, on the Facebook page. Hit some likes, hit some loves. Go ahead and click on this with your index finger and share this to your family and your friends and your confidants. Go ahead and join and subscribe to this on the YouTube channel, iliferadio.com. And let's do this thing for real. Like it is. Ace Goody's in the building. What's up, good brother? How you doing? Go mob to my frat. And we're going to have a good discussion, man. As you know, folks, I went through a very warm experience. About this time last night, my AC went out in the home, and Disco Inferno, your boy was on fire. I lost about 7 pounds between now and today, but I feel better. Praise goodness and praise God and the Most High that my AC's back on. But for the sake of you and a good program today and a good broadcast, I had to move out here and just kind of give it better face and better treatments. What's up, good people? How y'all doing? Hit some likes, man. Hit some loves and join the broadcast today. We're going to have a wonderful discussion topic, as always, what we do. But I challenge you folks that you're going to get enlightened, entertained, inspired, motivated to do something better, because that's what we do here. I want to bring you the best of the best. I want to bring you the raw and the real, and I'm going to do that tonight. Before we get down to it, let's go ahead and put the disclaimer out there. The thoughts and ideas displayed today on the Online Happy Hour do not reflect negative thinking, do not reflect setbacks, and do not reflect struggle. But what it does reflect are those who are on this show willing to chime in, willing to talk about, and willing to give their insight on what it takes to make us, you, me, and we better. And that's what we do. We're going to start it off, folks, by giving y'all some insight. Shout out to my sponsors today, Vicarious, the fragrance designed for you in your smell good categories, what you need to do to make your life and your pleasure feel good and smell good of the fragrance that is Vicarious. And also by Feline Couture. Feline Couture is a clothing boutique and cosmetic brand based out of Atlanta, Georgia. For all things luxury and the ultimate in fashion persona, visit feline-couture.com. Y'all ready? We're going to keep it real, man. I hope y'all got 10 fingers, 10 toes. Tell 10 people as we about to dive off into this topic with a wonderful woman who I've had the pleasure of knowing for the past 11 years now. Wow, it's been that long. I ran across her at a wonderful display here in Dallas, Texas, many years ago. The good Dr. George Frazier was speaking at this conference, and she happened to be there, made her way all the way from the DMV area, and has been rocking it and doing her thing ever since, man. I want to bring on a great colleague, a beautiful person, an entrepreneur, an author, motivational speaker, a success coach, realtor, and just a dynamic woman of goals and wonderful things to come. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Online Happy Hour for the first time, but definitely not the last, Miss Lorie Woodruff. Lorie, what's going on?
Andy? What's up, Andy?
How you doing?
You're good. You're happy hour. Thank you for having me on your happy hour.
Yes, and welcome. For those that don't know Lorie, man, Lorie, please let the people know a little bit more about yourself because we're going to dive into it. I want them to kind of have an idea who this beautiful person is. So when we hit them across the chest with some real, they got a good understanding of what it means to be you and why it's coming from you.
Well, you did a pretty good job, and it looks like everything at the bottom of the page looks like who I am. But in a nutshell, I know I look like I'm 20 years old, but 21 years selling real estate in the Maryland and DC area. So I've helped a lot of people get into houses and work on that financial hurdle in their life. And then I started helping a lot of people get into credit repair. So I started helping everybody, get into that education space to get their credit up, including mine. And then I started figuring out, because actually you said 11 years, and it's been crazy. It just didn't feel like it's been 11 years, but Trevor Otts really coined something for me that I'll never forget. It's not what you do, it's what you know. Remember? Right. It's not what you do, it's what you know. So over the years, I've connected with people like Andy, Trevor, lots of mentors all over the United States, all over the globe. And I started figuring out it's not just about real estate. I love to help people in the financial space, to help elevate them, personal development, help them elevate, feel better about themselves so they can make the goals that they need to make. So written a couple of books. Yes, I offered 2 books and 2 ebooks that just came out this year on credit, and one is on starting a business. So yeah, I'm here to stay to help people really elevate with money, help people make money. That's it. And coming up from last year, we got a whole lot to talk about as far as getting people in a position so they can start making money online.
Yes, we do. And welcome. I'm so glad you said that. The atmosphere is pretty warm behind me, as you can see, folks, and the atmosphere is going to get pretty heated today. And I want you all to understand that. Bring the people in. I see y'all asking questions. I see the folks that are asking. If you're on the Facebook side, please chime in and get some of this. If you're on the YouTube side, it's iLife Radio, entertainment. It's for everybody radio. Let's go ahead and dive off into this. We're going to talk about, Lorie, 10 reasons, 10 toes down, 10 toes up, 10 good emotions, about the top 10 reasons why you, ladies and gentlemen, need to step your game up.
Top 10 reasons why. This is a man or a woman? Just top 10 reasons why.
This is people in general. Lots of times they say, well, what about the women? Well, what about the men? Yes, we're going to hit you. And we're going to dive off and make it very easy. So I can hit this real quick one time. I'm going to come back for those who are just not tuning in. I'm going to have a good sip of scotch, and I can hear you well. So the first one is we dive off in and break this from 10 all the way down to number 1.
All right, cool. Let's go.
And the top 10 reasons. Number 10, and the reasons of why you need to step your game up, ladies and gentlemen. Like Lorie said, you need to be open to making new money. I think we get stuck on the same old all the time. Lorie, why do you feel that's important?
Coming out from 2020, I think it shook a lot of people up, Andy. So there's no reason why someone should be staying with their job. And I'm not saying leave your job, but I'm saying you typically work. Here's one thing. If you ask the average person, what do you do for a living? And then ask them a second question, what is it that you love to do? Like if money was never a problem, what would you be doing? I guarantee you, most of them will not say that job that they're working every day. Like for me, I'm working in real estate. I love what I do and help people get to that point. But if money was not an issue, I'd be interior decorator. So you got to find your passion. Yeah, that's what you got to work on after the job. Work on that at least 1 hour a day so that when you're ready to burst out of the job or to, that's the part that actually gets you out of bed. That's that part that gets you out of bed, and that's what fuels you to say, oh, it's not Monday. Oh, I'm not worried about going to work. You're excited about going to your career.
Combine that. I believe that 100%. So if you are tuning in just right now and you listen to the show, log into the chat, man. Tell us what you're doing while you're watching the show. We want to hear from you. Are you helping your children with their homework? Are you sitting on the toilet watching TikTok videos? Are you in the kitchen cooking something to eat? Or are you getting prepared to go to your job that you may or may not like tomorrow on Friday? Let's break this down. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. Number 9 is because you have given in to procrastination.
Procrastination. Yeah. We all do it. What keeps, now as I coach clients, like I started a mentoring program a couple of years ago, and I started mentoring people on a one-on-one basis. And I didn't know that that's what coaching is all about. I just knew, let me hold your hand. Let me get you closer to your goal. Because I work through the spirit. I work through manifesting what you want. So you got to see it before you can seize it. So procrastination, we all do it. We all do it, right, Andy? Right. There's some things that you could be doing. You got about 15 to-do things that you could be doing right now. Same thing. And the biggest thing is in the morning, what you want to do so you can avoid the procrastination is get those money-making ideas done first so that you don't procrastinate the bullshit the rest of the day. Get the money, the things that will make money, the things that make a living for your family, the things you got to get done. Get those things done first, because the rest of the day, normally you can just kind of piss away the rest of the day and just, I'll get to it tomorrow. But anything tied to money or your family or your health, get that stuff done in the morning.
So how often should we when we talk about procrastination, the caveat to that is, well, not the caveat, but also looking at prioritizing, right? There's a level of prioritization that's not happening. And there has to be something that there's a great divide that's not letting us prioritize what we need to do.
So what were you saying? What's the solution for that?
Yeah. As far as procrastination or something's got to give.
I found a way. So this is one idea that I work with some of my folks, and it works for them. So maybe this will help for somebody listening now. Procrastination is simply, I don't want to do this. That's it. It's I don't want to do that. So if it was something that you really wanted to do, that's the stuff you typically get done first. You don't really procrastinate that stuff. But if it is going to be something that you procrastinate, what I would suggest is hiring somebody to do that small stuff. So you go to sites like Fiverr, you can go to Upwork. People need work, and it doesn't cost much. And sometimes it's people that are overseas, like in the Philippines, $3 an hour, $4 an hour to do the BS that you don't want to do. That way, somebody else can do it. It'll be done probably by Friday, and probably better than you would have ever did it. So whenever it's something on your plate that you keep procrastinating, it's something that you probably don't like to do. So give it to somebody that does actually specialize in that.
Yeah. I've been partnering with Upwork ever since it was Elan.
Yes, I love it. Oh, yeah, it was Elan. I love it. I'm a detailed person, but at the same time, I don't do a lot of administrative work that well. I'm not one to create all of my funnels and everything for my back pages and my email sequences. I'm not doing all of that, but it looks like, hey, our business is flowing pretty good, but you got support that's helping you to do all that. So get help, ask for help, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, like Andy said, and then, those things you post, like Upwork is good because you can just post the job that you're looking for, and people inquire, hey, I can do that. This is how much I'll do per hour. And then you just hire them.
I've kind of told people to do this many times before, but that level of procrastination just,
it gets up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there. We got to work on that, folks. Let's dive off into it. Top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. Let's hit number 8 right across the head. It's because your health and wellness is declining. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
COVID is real. We still
Yeah.
out here ordering food. We're still out here not cooking our own. We're still out here just not making. And I can't say this out loud, folks. If all your meals have receipts and come through drive-throughs, you're not living your best life.
I mean, some of them can have receipts, Andy. Don't act like we can't go get ourselves some Chick-fil-A, you know.
Huh?
We like our waffle fry. I like Chipotle. Like I'm not there every week, but I do eat out sometime. So what's number 8? What's number 8?
Number 8, your health and your wellness is declining.
Your health and wellness is declining. So, all right, let's just put it this way. If you're single and you eat out more, that's a choice. That's a choice. Because sometimes some people don't, like some men and women I know that just don't like to cook at all. So that means, why don't you get things like HelloFresh, some of those services that will deliver great things to you. You got to just spend maybe a couple of minutes to prep it and cook it. So that may be.
Okay, I dig that. I dig that 100%.
Yeah, that helps me not eat out so much.
Let's talk about that a little bit more with the health and wellness, right? We've got COVID, which is really taking place pretty strong. Mm-hmm. And we have people out here who are not, they're just not taking the right measures. You know, there's a way to be safe, there's a way to move around, and then there's a way to use this to your advantage, folks. You really have to do that. Take the time to really understand more about what's going on with COVID. Listen to your body. You know, you're getting headaches at night, you really can't sleep that well, or you're waking up sore in the morning and you're only, in your 20s. Something's going on. You got to listen to your body.
It's exercise.
What's going on. Yeah, there we go.
It's exercise, and it comes down to water. You notice everything comes down to drink more water. I had spoke to, my aunt that we did the interview with you a couple of years ago, Rashida.
Yes.
Yeah. So she calls me and she just tells me I wake up at various times of the night. I get up, I'm on my phone. But I said, what time are you getting off the computer at night? She was like, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, so you're getting off the computer, still thinking about work, 9, 10 o'clock. You do a couple of things and then you go to bed. Your mind hasn't even turned off yet. And then you wake up and you're hustling. So I gave her a regimen on at night. Listen to affirmations. Go to YouTube and just put in I am affirmations. Okay. If you listen to that, you can actually relax your mind because it's telling you wealthy affirmations. I am abundant. I am wealthy. You do that for your children too, because sometimes those kids are off the chain during the daytime. Lullabies. Okay. Those are the things. So I would say listen to something at night before you go to bed. Just turn on YouTube and just go to I am affirmations and just listen to the ones it'll put you to sleep. And it'll probably go on for like 2 hours, you're asleep. Then get yourself exercising, at least 15 to 30 minutes, walk every day. I got her with my personal trainer, and she says she now feels amazing. Feels amazing. So sometimes it's just about getting your body in motion, because a lot of people, they're working at home on the computer and you're not doing anything but just working on the computer. So I would say get your mind relaxed, get off the computer around 6 or 7 o'clock if you can, so that you've got some distance between when you get off the computer versus when you are relaxed and going to sleep. Get yourself walking. Even if you don't have a personal trainer, you don't want to invest in all of that. Invest in your health, like Andy said. That's more important. But at least walk 15, 30 minutes a day and drink nothing but water. Drink nothing but water and watch the difference in how you feel. I can't date somebody that's overweight.
No.
No, I can't, because I know he's not taking care of himself. And it's not that I can't help him get into that position, but it's just, you got to know everything. If your health breaks down, your money breaks down, you break down everything.
Oh, Like the way you put that, fellas. I hope you're paying attention. The Tax Network has said this also. It said water is one of the biggest keys to overall health. It also helps you wake up refreshed.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point about that, Lori, because when I was in the hospital with COVID, that is exactly what I did. I listened to some motivation. I went to YouTube and I kind of, let that subconscious get into my mindset, powerful motivations, and it really helped me get through a lot of the tough times that I had while I was in the hospital.
Glad you're doing better.
Yeah. Real talk, folks. There, y'all getting some good game. I hope y'all are paying attention. Tell some folks, tell some people, chime in and get some of this love, get some of this good talk. Lorie Woodruff is joining me right here as we talk about the top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. We hit you with 3 good ones. Let's go ahead and touch on to number 7, shall we?
Let's go. Let's go number 7.
You, watch this now, folks. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up is because you haven't mastered being single.
Oh. Okay, so number 7 is you haven't mastered being single. I love being single. I love it. And some people like relationships.
Correct.
Are you single, Andy?
I'm single, yes.
Okay. So there is a difference, as you stated earlier, as far as being alone and lonely.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Right.
So alone is I'm taking care of me. I'm taking care of my mind. I'm taking care of my body. I'm taking care of my work, my dog. I'm taking care of my front lawn, my back lawn. I'm taking care of me. And that's perfectly okay. Some people go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they never get to experience me time.
Right.
Lonely is different. Lonely is, okay, well, I don't have anybody. I don't have any friends. That's lonely. That means you don't have anybody. That's by choice and sometimes not by choice. So there is a difference. You have to identify. If you can be by yourself, and everyone should, that is not a lonely time. That is the time where you get to really get to know who you are, what you like. And when it comes to finances, you got to be able to know who you are independent of someone else. Like when I'm working with real estate clients and I have a couple that's not quite married yet. Some of them have been in a relationship so long, they don't even know how to not be together. So if one person leaves or if one person holds the books and is writing all the bills, what's going to happen when something happens to that other person? You don't know shit how to handle it by yourself. So you got to be able to stand alone and like, all right, I know how to balance a checkbook. I know where our accounts are. I know where Verizon account number is. I know how to get my stuff.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be alone. It's definitely okay to be alone.
I get it. We rush that thing so much because we want all the bliss and the joy and the cuddling and the holding and the movie watching. It's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, you sweep that floor up a little bit.
But you gotta learn to be independent too. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing because women can take that and they're like, I don't need a man. Well, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes. You do need a man. A man may say, I don't need a woman. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Definitely. That's definitely the case. But you got to learn how to be on your own so that if a son, think about it this way, Andy, you have children. If a son leaves the parent's house, and let's say at the age of 19, 20, or even if he stays there longer and he's like 25 years old, and then he goes to live with a woman, he has not experienced anything except being from mama's titty, and he's all about
you can say mama.
He's all about I need, and he's dependent on a woman. Mama, where's the ketchup? Mama, where's the sheets? And mama may be doing everything for him, cleaning his room, cleaning his bathroom, making sure he gets to work okay. Same thing with a female. When a female is not having that apartment of her own or that own place, then she's going from all of that dependency going into a relationship. And that, in my opinion, is a problem because you don't know how to handle things on your own and be alone.
That is so true. Listen, I don't know what y'all think this is, but we're not making this shit up. This is some real discussion right here. Folks, I want you to understand, dive off into this. We have Bible readers out there. There's a passage that says, in everything that you get understanding. Well, understand what the hell we're talking about right now, because this is going to be some things you need to change your life. You're going into a holiday weekend. You got an extra day to make some adjustments on what you need to do and take some time for yourself to figure this shit out. I'm digging it. Lorie, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm all about being, now when I'm at work, I'm at work. I'm working, okay? I'm the boss at work. But when I'm at home, oh, honey, what do you want on your chicken? Oh, honey, what, do you want string beans or collard greens? So I am, you have to know how to change your roles up. So a lot of women, if they're in that kind of position, they have to understand how to be a little bit more gentle when they are in a relationship. So that takes being around other women as well, and being around other men to see both sides of it so that you can know how to act. Because I grew up, my parents divorced at 11 years old, so I saw nothing but my mother being strong. One thing I didn't see is the delicate side.
Yes.
So those are things you have to learn as you start to get around other women and start saying, well, dang, I like the way she's soft. And actually she cried and she actually made his plate. So those are the things you kind of pick up as you growing up. You don't have to be all, he can make it his own damn self. You don't need to be sister girl all the time. Be soft. Be soft.
There's a special offering that's coming your way. We're going to talk about that. We're almost halfway through this list. And I hope these folks are out here chiming. I got people hitting my phone up saying y'all are on point. Where did you find her? This is real. I love it, man. This is a real discussion here. Lorie Woodruff, Success Coach, getting up some good game right here on the online happy hour. We are talking together about the top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up.
Step it up, baby. Men and women, we don't
up to speed, shall we? For those who are just now coming in, let's bring y'all back up to speed. So I'm hitting y'all with number 10. You have to be open to making new money. Number 9, you have to have you have given into procrastination. See? You are given into procrastination. Number 8, your health and your wellness is declining. You have to step your game up, folks. Number 7, we just talked about this. You haven't mastered being single. The difference between being alone and being lonely. Pay attention to the signs in your behavior. Look at that mirror every now and then and see if you don't start crying if nobody's behind you. You can't say I'm lonely 5 times in the mirror without busting down and breaking out with tears. Something's wrong. So let's keep the party going on and hit you with number 6, shall we? Are y'all ready for this? The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up is because number 6, your wardrobe is outdated.
Your wardrobe is outdated. Number 6 is your wardrobe is outdated. Okay. Yes. All right. Now look, I don't do a whole lot of shopping, so I might be guilty of this one too. I like wearing my brand, Unleashed. That's my brand. So when I came out with this, I'm not Nike, but I am Nike. So you have to wear your own. So some of you are very creative. Make your own clothes. Now, I don't know, guys don't like doing a lot of shopping. Andy, do you like to shop a lot?
I like to be stylish. I'm definitely going to be fly.
Okay. All right.
But you have to get away. And I know this is that time, fellas, where we wear the hoodies and we break off into the sweats. And this is that time you get to do that. But what you're not going to do is wear dress socks and sandals. You can't do that.
Nobody's doing that unless you're over
60 No, people are doing that. Yes, they are.
All right. So they're not paying attention. So they're not paying attention to the trend. All right. So maybe they're not trying to attract anybody. They're just doing it for themselves.
They're just putting on something that just feels comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Last year, I have seen so much comfort. It probably has gotten a lot of people. Last year was just a piece of mess, just a whole mess of comfort altogether. So I would say for the men, I'll start with the men and I'll separate it with the women.
Let's do
for the men, to be comfortable, the way I look at it this way is when you step out, you have to realize there could be $1 million client out there. That's how I look at it. So I'm not saying go to CVS or go into the grocery store. I'm talking about going out with your friends, not just putting on the slide-ons, going out with your boys and just get chicken wings. I mean, really dress like you want to be addressed. So yeah, it does matter. So the guys, I would say, dress as if $1 million client is waiting for you wherever you're going, and that will allow you to dress different.
Truth.
Now, for the ladies, it's the same thing, because ladies, you can't wear tights and yoga pants everywhere, nor should the bonnet go everywhere, and nor do the slippers belong everywhere outside. Now, if you're going to the cookout down the street with your girlfriends, cool. But especially if you're doing a first date, you're going into the office, finally, people are going back to work, dress to impress, like you want to be addressed, because you've got people who are making judgments on you like that. And depending on where you go, you could lose a job, you could lose contracts, you could lose opportunities simply by the way that you're coming to the table.
Interesting, the way you put that spin for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting that you do that, because we don't mind seeing something tight and right. We don't mind seeing that, but everywhere though. Everywhere.
Yeah, not at work. I mean, when my real estate office, you would have to pay if you wore leggings, if you wore like tank top, like anything like this, you have to pay. The secretary would say, no, you can't come in here because I want you to, this is a classy establishment, and you need to not even wear jeans. We couldn't even wear jeans in the real estate office. And you just grow up and you start to learn, well, if I can't wear jeans, then that means I have to step up my dress game and be classy. Now, after 7 o'clock, after the office closes and I come in after hours, then I can put jeans on if I'm there late. But that right there showed me that right there, just working in that kind of environment, it was no waiver. You've got to dress as if $1 million client is waiting in the lobby for you.
This is real. Talking about this thing. We have a comment that just hit the fan real quick. Somebody was talking about that being soft. Delia says women don't too often have the luxury of being soft, especially when men don't know how to treat them. Ooh, ouch, fellas.
You said the women don't know how to be soft?
Yeah, women don't too often have the luxury of being soft, especially, she says, when men don't know how to treat women. Ouch.
True.
Fellas, are we not doing what we're supposed to be doing?
They're out there. I mean, you've got Meg the Stallion out there telling you one thing, and then you've got the Christian sisters telling you another thing. You got to address it the way you want to be addressed. You can't worry about what they are going to do, because they're only going to be a reflection of what you do. So as a woman, I'm not going to go out there and be totally soft all the time. But there is a moment when I first meet somebody, I need him to know I can act like a fool and I can still be your baby mama at the same time. So you gotta know how to flip it up, because you can't be all one way all the time. Because he got to know, I can raise my eyes and be like, don't try that. No, don't do that no more, okay?
Yeah. This is real, man. Lorie Woodruff is joining us here on the Online Happy Hour. We talked about this earlier. Lorie, you talked about your in real estate. How did you get into real estate, and what made you decide that was a passion for you?
I got into real estate because my mom and dad were in real estate. So I would watch my mother sell houses, and I'm in the back seat just kind of showing up at different houses from time to time. And I just fell in love with it. And I watched, at that point, I was going through my first home purchase, and she was helping me purchase my home. And I was a loan officer at first, and she helped me with that process. And I started buying investment properties, got my real estate license, and I was like, I'm not gonna have people in the back of my car. I just got my license so that I can identify properties and flip properties. So I got into it because remember I told you my ideal career would have been in home decorating. So I like seeing things ugly and making things beautiful. So I love flipping properties. I love, getting the raggedy properties and then making them finished and beautiful for resale. So that's how I got into it, really, because watching my mom, my dad, and then me going through the home buying process myself.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Interesting way of doing things, man. This is just really cool insight, folks. You're getting some good information. You're getting some insight. You're getting some good data. We're talking about this. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. We're halfway through this thing, and we're halfway through the show. We're making great time. Let's talk about some more great topics. I'm going to take a nice little sip while I talk about and break this down to number 5. Halfway through this thing, the top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. Lorie, are you ready?
Right. Number 5.
Number 5. Because your conversation and vocabulary is limited. You got to step your game up.
So number 5 is if your vocabulary and
your conversation
is limited. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your vocabulary
is the same old thing.
Your vocabulary is limited.
Where you at?
Because you hang around the same little bit of people all the time. So as you start to hang around different people, they speak different. They don't speak like you. And it's a good thing, I teach foreign exchange. I teach people how to trade in the foreign exchange market. So with that, that's a different language. I'll tell the everyday person, you're going to hear some terms and things that you've never heard before. So you got to learn to adjust. If you want to make money in this field, in this industry, in this business, you got to understand there's going to be some new things coming at you and you got to be able to adjust. So just like with your personal circle, you got to know when you start elevating and you start going into different arenas, you may feel uncomfortable because you may come in there with a dress that looks like this, and you go into a cocktail meeting with some professionals and they're just like, oh, okay. I guess you thought this was the nightclub. That's what you wear at the nightclub, but this is a cocktail hour, and we do things a little bit different here. So I think that has to do with your environment. If you start being around different people, they speak different. They talk different money, different strategies about money. And if you feel uncomfortable, good. Stay there long enough until you feel and you can go back and forth with them so that you are part of that conversation. But if you're not going to adjust, that's not the arena for you. Yeah. It's not the arena for you.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's okay to shift up. It's okay to shift up because everybody has to start somewhere. When I'm coaching people and I'm helping people get from renting to owning, there's different terminologies. You're not talking about, well, how much is the rent? No, we're talking about now, well, how much is landscaping? And what is it going to take for me to get the basement finished? So there's different conversations that you say now when you elevate into different situations. So when you're ready to elevate, make sure that you're around the right people who have already done that and stay in that circle so that you can continue those conversations and better.
That's beautiful, man. That's real talk. I love the way you put that. I love the way you put that. And here's the thing about that. Folks, I've heard this statement many times before. If you are the smartest person in the room, you need to leave.
You need to leave.
Because the conversation, the communication is going to just frustrate you to no end. And you're going to feel as if you just don't belong there. You mentioned the word uncomfortable. Right. You have to get to a point where you are uncomfortable. What does that mean? Let me elevate. Let me hear a little bit more. I want to learn more about this because if you're staying in your, it's going to become uncomfortable for you simply because you're going to feel as if they're not on your level.
Right.
And part of you is going to feel as if I'm above these people, and that's not positive thinking.
Yeah. And when I met you, I was at the PNC conference in Texas, and I think that was the second year that, I think that was either the first year or the second year that I attended that. Now, for me, I've never attended a conference in that kind of magnitude. Before, what I would do in those kind of situations, I would be intimidated to talk to a Trevor Otts, a Shay Brown, I would be intimidated to talk to you. Only because you came up, then I feel comfortable and say, oh, I can do that. I'm Lorie. You got to psych yourself out to the point where you're like, I've been here before. They're here for me as well. They're getting the same information as I am. So you have to act as if you're already part of that room. You got to just kind of move into that room and introduce yourself. Hey, Andy, yes, I have a podcast too. How are you? Would you like to get on my show? Let's talk a little bit about how I can help your business. And just fit in. Everybody is not as big as you think. It's all in your mind.
That's beautiful. Well put. See, folks, get some of this, man. Get some of this insight. The Tax Network says, I agree. You should always be open to expanding your circle of influence and being around people of different education levels. Speaking of which, you got some great things to provide for you. If you didn't know, Lorie Woodruff is an author. Yeah, she's written not one, but 2 books. Lorie, talk to us a little bit about your writing technique, what you've written about, and why you chose to go into that particular field.
Cool. Again, like I said, it's not what you do, it's what you know. So everyone can be an author because they've all gone through different experiences that someone needs to hear about. Okay? Yes, like you said, tribe is important. Tribe is super important. And those kind of things, when someone says, hey, I'm going to an event, hey, I'm going to this conference, go. Because it could, one person could change everything for you. One person could change everything for you. So when it came down to the book, 2016 is when I wrote and published and released the first book, Unleash Your Irresistibility. That's where the brand comes from, Unleash. And Unleash Your Irresistibility, Secrets to Making Every Man Want You. Oh man, that title was getting some women. They were like, I don't want everybody wanting me. Secrets to Making Every Man Want You. So when I wrote that, the chapters were about how can the average person glow from the inside out. Because I suffered through depression. I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm just thinking, give me a pill, make me feel better. Like, what do I need to do? Because my productivity is low. My self-esteem was low. Everything was low. And it all was around money and a guy. And I didn't know how to handle it. I know, right? And I didn't know how to handle it and get out of that. So when you go through those pockets, you want to let other people know, hey, I'm going through it. You might be going through it too. So this is a way that I got out of it that may help you out. So the book was really how to bounce out of depression, how to feel better mentally so that you can be attractive to get the man that you want, to get the job that you want, and to get the friends that you want. It's about being better attractive to other people from the inside out, not from the outside.
Let's do that.
That's what the first book was about.
We've got some good comments up in here up in the chat. I like this. Jillian's made a good comment here. She says she's been listening. A little bit of a delay, but people should get those typos together in the mindset of clean, modest, appropriate when dressing. So, could we possibly give? I'm gonna be sure to provide. Julia's making some good comments here. Her a good copy of your book. And for those who may not be able to get a copy on the house from me, where could they find more out about you?
Definitely, you're gonna have the Linktree link down below. LorieWoodruff.com is probably the easiest thing, but I created the Linktree because a lot of people just like quick and easy, right? So I have that Linktree account, but you can go to LorieWoodruff.com, LORIE, Woodruff.com, and you can get more information on coaching, schedule an appointment with me, and certainly how to get connected to money. Much better.
Okay.
Writing is actually a passion for me. You were asking about the book, but writing is actually a passion for me. I love writing. And I didn't figure that out until I started writing the first book. So. Yeah. It's
a stress reliever, isn't it?
It is. I'm pretty creative with it. So just making up a bunch of stories, that's what sells. Stories sell.
Part about being a free spirit and being free to talk about things. Like we're talking about these topics right here. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up, folks. There's some other authors who are out there, and maybe, just maybe, they got a little bit of wind from what Lorie had to say. But for the other folks out there who need to step their game up, let's bring it on back full circle and talk about this topic. Number
Let's do
4,
it.
if you will.
Number
Top 2
4.
reasons why you need to step your game up. Number 4 is your view on sex is very childish.
Ooh.
Yeah, I meant it. Your view on sex is very childish. So you should step your game.
So number 4 is your view on sex is childish.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we have a mindset of, touch, lick, kiss, pump, thrust, speak, release, and move. And that's really all that they're putting into it and putting in the effort. But what you got to understand, folks, is that there's a whole different level of your sex game that needs to happen and take place in order to maintain that level in your relationship and keep that thing going. So if you wonder why you're going in and out of relationships and they're not sticking around and they're really not hanging on to you when they just call you every now and then, but not that often, and don't really want to commit to you,
man.
Chances are that sex game ain't where it needs to be. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it, and I'm gonna have a drink on that.
This topic, the sex topic, could go on all night. So let's talk about that for the men versus the women. Now, I've never been married before, so I'm only speaking from a single woman's point of view. But I got a bunch of married friends, and I pay attention to everything that they say. The men and the women. All right. So
right.
You've got to identify from the beginning, what are we here for? What are we here for, right? Are we here just for sex? Are we here because it's just convenient? Are we here for a potential relationship? You got to know that up front and don't freaking assume it, because that's where you get your feelings hurt. If you're just here for a good time and hey, it's Friday night, you coming over, then don't expect anything else. It's just purely physical. But if you have got your heart into this guy or this lady, you need to let that be known up front. Look, I like you a lot. I don't know if you've seen anybody, but I like you. And when that's on the table, then you guys got to really just start to get into it. And you got to really pay attention to, I'm not saying just watch movies like porn, but you got to watch movies that get you connected, because women connect here first. Men, y'all connect there first. So it's I don't know how we're made so different, but you got to really figure out
those things that connect together. Maybe
they're going to connect at some point. But I've been disappointed where I thought, hey, I assumed we were going in one direction, and he was like, "Nah, I never told you that." I was like, "Well, let me get my freaking face up off the floor. Thank you very much." And it is so now I know, just to be clear. But if we are going to be in that space, I know to be almost a performer for my man. A performer, so that he can think about nothing. But ladies, we get comfortable. Guys, you get comfortable. And it should just be to this point where you've got to know, I got to put work in for everything I do. If I got to put work in at work, I got to do that. But I got to schedule this creativity, this freaky space for my man.
I dig it. Yeah. Maybe the time we're in on this one. We don't have to have some moist towels around the room on this topic. Yeah.
That's a whole other topic, Andy. That could take us till midnight. So that's a whole other topic. You got some good ladies on that could say this.
It has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. If you want to step the game up, folks, and you want to go extra level on this, you have to be able to talk about this and be real with your mate or whomever it is that you want to be involved with instantly, mentally, physically, financially. You got to put those things together. Have a good understanding so you don't walk away thinking or knowing, well, I thought it was going to be this. I had an understanding about this. Talk about that. And I suggest, folks, what you're doing, men and women, talk about it outside of the bedroom, right?
Talk about it outside of the bedroom, for sure. Especially if you have children, you can't talk about it at home.
Because if your views on sex are childish, it's going to show.
because you're not
And it's not
experienced.
gonna be right.
You're not experienced. And that goes back to if you're just coming from mom and dad's house and then you move in with your guy or your girl, you have no experience on dating. You have no experience on teasing someone. You have no experience on what that looks like for a woman or a man. So you've got to date. Dating is good. That's like, you got to do that. You got to know, is this person going to be capable of handling shit in the future? Are they going to be handling financial issues? How do they handle me? How do they handle everything in the household? So you've got, dating is good. So don't think when someone asks you, ladies, are you dating someone? And I will say, yes, I am. How many people? 2, maybe 2. And if a guy says the same thing, you have to be okay with hearing, I'm dating multiple women. Got it. Cool. I'm doing the same thing. I got to find the right one, right?
Yeah. We're not honest about that. I love this. I love this discussion.
Got to find the right one.
Why you got to step your game up, and the reasons why, because if you're afraid to talk about these things, we just don't move and we get stagnant.
Yeah.
And that limits your growth. Top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. We hit you with number 3. I'm sorry, we hit you with number 4.
Before you get up to that one. 3. Wait, before you get up to that one.
We're on number 3.
Before you get onto that one, hold on.
Okay.
For women who are married and men who are married, I don't know if you've seen this on Netflix called Sex Life. Have you seen that, Andy?
You talked about that. No, I have not.
Man, that gave me a whole different insight on keep your game up. There's an 80-20 rule in everything in life. And typically you marry that 80%, right? You get the stability, that's the one you marry. But that 20%, that one that was breaking your back and meeting you in the alley and telling you to get off work and doing all that freaky stuff, that 20%, that person's still out there. And that's the one that you start, dang, my life used to be like so exciting. So you got to understand that 80-20 rule applies to every fucking thing in life. And you got to be comfortable with that 80% because that's the one that gives you the stability. That 20%, just be careful. I know, right? Sex Life is amazing. I'm watching it for the second time. So just watch. I say that just to say, pay attention to the series because it gives you insight on don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable.
Did you say the alley?
Anywhere. I've had sex in a model home before when people were downstairs. I hate to say it, okay? Downstairs.
Cheers to that.
That was that 20%, You do things, hey.
You do things. You keep it real. Diving off into this one, man, the top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. Sliding that ladder all the way down to number 3 is because you're not willing to lead, ladies and gentlemen. We have more followers than we have leaders. Okay. And that's in all aspects, ladies and men. Okay. Did I say that out loud?
So now, is this number 3?
That's number 3. We got 2 more. Talk to me.
So number 3 is we don't have a lot of leaders. We have more followers.
Yep. Not willing to lead.
Okay. Well, here's the biggest thing I can look at. As a woman, I need to be led. I'm a Leo woman. So I'm at work. I'm taking care of business, taking care of a lot of people. And when I get home, I prefer to be led. I gotta be led. And I can't deal with someone who's like, well, do you like pink or do you like red? Do you want to eat seafood? Or, what, do you like mussels or do you like crab meat? Make a decision for me. And I get it, guys. Andy, I know you're a guy, so you're going to say, hey, I don't want to, if it's around food, I know. But sometimes you got to know the rhythm of your girl. You got to know she prefers salmon over rockfish. You got to know she prefers the scallops over the sea bass. You got to know these things. You got to be in tune with her so that when you get to the table and the waiter says, well, what do you want? Got it. She'll have the red wine and she'll have the scallops with the spinach and a baked potato.
Who picks anything over sea bass?
A man did that for me one time, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
He can scavenge over sea bass.
He gave the entire order down to my drink because
Okay.
he was in tune with what I liked. Everybody's not in tune with what you like because they don't pay attention. They're not listening. They're not understanding what she or he likes. So you got to pay attention. So I think this one goes more so with the men of being a leader. Let's get more leadership back into the households because women are out there making great money. The women are out there doing what they have to do because some guys are not stepping up to make things happen for household. I deal more with single women buying houses, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
I can dig that. This is real, folks. I hope y'all are getting this in, man. Fellas are texting me. Where is she from?
I'm in Maryland. Okay.
She's in Maryland. She's in Maryland, bro. She's in Maryland.
What did Delia say?
She says yes.
No. What did Delia's comment say?
Oh, she says, "Lady in the street and a whore in the sheets" is what us girls were told.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong with that? If that works for you, do it. Keep it consistent though. Don't start it for 3 months and then he gets used to that. Hey, baby, remember that thing you used to do with your tongue and the cherries? And you stop doing it because you got your bonnet on and you watching Netflix all the time. So if you're gonna choose to be it, you're gonna choose to be it. You're gonna be Meg Thee Stallion, have your little AKA name. You better be it all the time and surprise the shit out of him at work. It's a job.
Like the way you put that.
That's
Bravo.
the job.
Take heed, man. Listen tight. These ladies are spitting some
I like
words.
Delia.
Lorie Woodruff, are you enjoying yourself?
I like Delia. Yeah, I like her. Where's
Good.
Delia?
I think you all should connect. I think that's really cool. Yeah. Top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. Number 2, you're offended by your own income. Yeah, I said it. Yes, I meant it. You don't want to talk about that money, baby. You're offended by your own income. Wow.
You're offended by your own income? What does that mean?
You don't want to talk about your money. You're not comfortable with the topic of your own money. If you want to talk about making money,
make more money then.
You have to be open to saying, this is where I am and this is where I want to go. But if you don't address where you are and you just leave that mute point nonchalant and don't address it, you're never going to take the next step.
All right. So this goes with being a leader, right? If you're going to step up and, like, for example, I've got somebody I know that husband and wife works her ass off and she's stressed out by the time she comes home, still has to take care of the 2 kids. What is he doing? This is what he's doing when she comes home. Chilling, right? So when it comes down to it, women have to also step up and say, listen, we need to get out of this apartment. We need to get out of mom's house or mom's basement. And we need to sit down and have a plan. Because I know women can be you, but like you said, Andy, get out of the household, get away from the children, get an Airbnb, get a vacation, go somewhere different and just say, we need to have a meeting. We need to have a relationship meeting. And then let's go over a couple things that may be on your mind and on my mind. So we can get to the next level with our family. So it's a talk track thing. You got to know how to talk to men in a way where it's not, hey, you did this, you did this. And then men have to also know how we're emotional creatures. So they have to know how to speak with us and just say, when would be a good time for us to talk about us?
Wow.
And, so it's got to be, you got to pay attention to the words of what would work, what is successful in this conversation, what's going to be something where I get a response rather than a reaction. Because if you're coming at me talking about, we need to talk about the shit you're not doing, then they're not coming home that night. They're not coming home. They don't want to come home to that. But let's sit down and talk about, hey, I got a spot for us to go to. I've got the kids covered. All right. We're staying at grandma's house. We got the place from Thursday to Monday. Let's just pack and let's go. And then you can unpack and everything and talk about what can we do together to get out of this apartment. And you start playing it out. Then you're making 60,000 a year. Well, I'm making 40,000 a year. What can we do to double that so we can get out of this space? And that's why, like I talked about earlier, it's about getting into those different environments, getting outside of the normal raggedy friends. Some of us got some raggedy friends we got to let go. And when you start to elevate and start getting around people who own property, who own investment properties, and have all these other things you never even heard of, I'm like, wow, you got a boat? Like, you got a boat? You got things, assets out there you never even heard of. And you've got to start being around those people so that you can get out of the situation where you are.
That's so true. That is so real. Yeah. Real talk, man. I'm loving this dialogue. I'm loving this conversation.
I'm loving it. You should do this every week.
Yes. This is what we do each and every Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Living vicariously through you. The online happy hour gives y'all some real talk with real people about real discussions.
Happy hour.
Tonight's no different. Thing. Time in, get real, post the glass as we shake that ass and be 100% about this. The top 10 reasons why. What's that?
You should have told me. I would have bought my other glass up with the Tito's and a wine.
Yeah, this is a good discussion. I'm feeling this. It's a holiday weekend. I'm on vacation, and I'm feeling this. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up. So let's break this all the way down as we get to number 1. If you're just not tuning in, let's wind this thing down if you have to show up. The number 10 reason is because you have to be open to making new money. Mm-hmm. Number 9, you have given in to procrastination. Number 8, your health and wellness is declining. The top 10 reasons why you need to step your game up, folks. Number 7, you haven't mastered being single. That's very key and that's very important. You have to do that in your single life. Number 6, your wardrobe is outdated. Check your threads, check your vines, get your body together, folks. Yeah. Make sure you're not really baggy and saggy in your clothes on a regular basis. Number 5, halfway there, your conversation and vocabulary is very limited. Increase your vocab. Right? Number 4, your views on sex are very childish. Number 3, you're not willing to lead. Number 2, you're offended by your own income. And the number 1 reason, folks, the number 1 thing you need to do to step your game up is you have to limit the amount of time that you're getting away from things because you have to be the best version of yourself.
Best version of yourself. So number 1 is what? Learning to be the best version of yourself?
The best version of yourself. That is the most important thing because you want to step your game up because if you're not being the best you, nobody else is.
Here's an example. I'm glad you did that. I have a notebook. So this is what I do with a lot of my clients. And if you can honestly say this, if I ask you, how are you doing today? And you continuously say good or fine, something's wrong. You got to trick yourself. You got to speak different. I am amazing. All right. And you're like, amazing? What's wrong with you? Why are you so freaking happy? Can you genuinely say that you're happy? And that is the one thing I couldn't say 2012, 2013. People would see me selling houses, mortgages. I'm doing mortgages and, I'm working. But I could never say I'm happy. And it was something where, and I had to grow up. This is the part where you have to grow up. There's going to be a transition where you don't know how to handle jealousy. You don't know how to handle the insecurity of being a woman. This is the part where the book was written and I had to display it and be vulnerable so people can see that. I went through depression and I thought my life had to be attached to a man. It had to be attached to money. And when I didn't have those things, I didn't know how to act. God cheated on me. I didn't know how to act and I reserved myself. And I'm like, shit, am I the only one going through this? But I'm not. This is the reason why these points that Andy had brought up were so key because you've got to learn to be alone and understand how to be happy. So these are some of the things I do in the morning. So then this is, I coach my clients all the time so they can get to that point where they're happy first. Their heart meets that and then they can make all the money that they need to. So here's one thing. In the morning, every day, I know y'all can't see it, But in the first 5 parts of the day, I'll write the day, Thursday, September 2nd. I'll write 5 intentions of what I plan to do every day. 5 intentions of what I plan to do. I don't do a whole 20 to-do list, all that. Be happy, loving, wealthy, and supportive. That's my number 1. If you can't tell yourself how to be, then the rest of the world will tell you exactly how you're going to be. So I tell myself, I'm going to be happy. I choose to be happy. I choose to be loving. I choose to be wealthy. I choose to be supportive today. And watch the difference it makes. Number 2, I'm receiving and depositing $100,000 in my business checking account today. How much money are you looking for today? Don't just say I want money, because if I gave you $2, you got money. So
Yes.
actually give yourself, receive and deposit. How much would be freaking specific? And most of the times I'll say in my Navy Federal checking account today. What do you want and when do you want it? Don't worry about how it's going to come. God will work on that. Number 3, start a landing page for my business. I got a mentorship coming out. You guys make sure you stay tuned for that, because I have a mentorship for 5 days coming up. September 13th is going to be for 5 days. Andy, imagine every day of the week, I'm sharing with you 5 different ways that you can make money online. So stay tuned for that. So I'll keep you posted on that. Number 4, accept 3 approvals today. Number 5, write 3 offers today. Guess what? I took 3 clients out today and they all wrote offers on the properties that we saw today. Why? Because I told myself what the direction of the day is going to be. So you got the power to do that too. And then below that, Andy, this is the clear part about it. You've got to write, what are you happy and grateful for? So 10 things. If you watch The Secret, the movie, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm so happy and grateful now. We take for granted all of the things that we have around us. You've got air, you've got utilities on, you've got water, you've got your sight, your vision, gas in the car. Did you give thanks for it today? Did you give thanks at all? So I write down 10 moments of gratitude of what I'm grateful for. And right there, I write that every freaking morning. And my Forex students, my coaching students, everybody that I am in close proximity with, I share with them the same thing so that they can have a better version of themselves. So now when you go out there in the world, you're not worried about somebody telling you no. Okay, no worries. I know money's still coming to me. I know wealth is still coming to me. Relationship is coming to me. The biggest thing is when I start writing down, I'm so happy and grateful now that my husband is here. I got to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
That's the only one I got to be careful of, because when I write that, guys be coming around. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to just make sure we're in alignment. So be crystal clear with what you want, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, it comes clear. And this is one thing I want to share. The last thing. Here's the last thing. I told my clients to do this, to go to Amazon and to purchase a stack of money. It looks like $100 bills. Go to Amazon and get them. And I want you to tell yourself every single day, money flows to me frequently and consistently. Money flows to me. Money is mine. Money, I am surrounded by money. All right? And when you do this, all of a sudden you get direct deposits out of the blue. You get deposits just out of the blue. I keep this in my purse. Now, I don't take this to the bank and try to spend it, Andy. But you keep this as a reminder that you have it. You got it. You already got it. You got to walk into it. You got to walk into it. So it stays in the purse. So go to Amazon. It's like $8.99. That's it. Don't go to the bank and try to deposit this. Please don't put my name on it and don't say Lorie told me to do this. But that's the secrets right there, to have the better version of yourself. The bullshit's going to come, but you got to be able to protect yourself. Things that I just shared with you is free. Get your mind right so you can get your health right, get your money right, get your relationships right. And it all starts with being grateful.
It all comes full circle, man.
It all comes full circle. You can have whatever you want, but you got to make sure you can see it first. You visualize it, then you can seize whatever you want.
I love this. I love the fact that you gave time. I love the way you broke that thing down, and I love the way you made it matter regardless of where you are, regardless of where your level of education is, it had to hit home to somebody. And that's the beauty of this platform with the online happy hour. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. You don't know for what reason, whether to find out who's doing what, who's being here, to get insight, to get education, or just to sit back and fuck it, just be nosy. But that is what we do. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it 100. And I thank you all for making time for this particular show. Thank you, Lorie, for being real and just being honest. I definitely want to get a copy of your book to Delia.
Yes, Delia, you get that book, girl.
Hopefully, you all will connect in different light and different patterns. I just love the platform that the online happy hour is. So cheers to you for making time and being available. What's next for you when tomorrow comes and we have a new beginning on tomorrow? What's next for Lorie Woodruff?
What's next for me is teaching. So I wrote on a vision board years ago, and I didn't even know why God made me do this, but a vision board is very important for everybody to see things, right? So I look at my vision board now and it says God, pray, read, and teach. So I found God, had to pray, just to learn how to pray, started to read a lot. That's when you get into your moments of being quiet and being alone. And now I'm in the point of teaching. So now I'm in the financial literacy space where I'm helping people learn about credit, learn about starting a business, learn how to, get into real estate. So right now it's just really teaching, mentorship classes. I love teaching. So anything that's going to be on the horizon, you guys make sure you follow me on IG at Lorie_Woodruff. That's LORIE_Woodruff. And you definitely be able to connect with any and every class, mentorship that I have coming up that's going to help you be a better woman or a better man.
Awesome. Thank you, Lord, for making time this evening.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. You are always welcome. Your family, you are who you are, and you do it with such great ease, and you make it happen. I love you. Sure. I appreciate what you're doing.
Will you come on mine? Will you come on mine so I can give you 10 things?
You need me to come on for Lorie TV?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sip on it.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One good interview deserves another. I always get to share, but you can be a blessing from a male standpoint, and definitely the women on my line need to hear that as well.
And they will.
Mm-hmm.
And they will. I hold nothing back.
Good.
But the lies.
We'll do it.
Be easy. Thank you so much, Lorie. Thank you for chiming in. For those who are just not watching, get the link, man. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my YouTube page. iLife Radio, that's independent listening is for everyone radio. Also, be sure to check out what Lorie Woodruff is putting down. He's putting some real game out there. If you're ready to buy your house, get your credit score together, or even just learn more about what this beautiful woman is doing, follow her. Again, Lorie_Woodruff. She's making big things. She's an author. She's a writer, and she got that money, baby.
Trying to get you connected. That's it.
That's real. That's 100. So all my folks and my family, for those who are doing this from the bottom of their heart, I want to say thank you for making time. If you got some insight and you got some good game out of tonight's show, please do me a favor. Tune in next week as we reach you with another wonderful topic. I want to tell you good night to my family, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, my friends. Please do me a favor. Get home safe tonight. Tell someone you love them and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It's your main man, Andy Brown, saying good night to my family. Good night to my friends. I love my sunrise, and I'm gone. It's the online happy hour right here in Hot Ass Dallas, Texas, on the online happy hour. Peace. And I love you.